Day. Happy hump day, Wednesday. Week is halfway over. Yay. While we're waiting on folks to join, Cooped Up is my website. You can visit at any time. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all of the social places. I would love a follow, particularly if you're in the Instagrams and wherever you watch or listen to this, because it is broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and then rebroadcast in audio format on all of the major podcasting platforms. Be sure to click the bell, subscribe button, whatever the mechanism is, so that you don't miss a minute, and you get notified anytime I post new content. So with that, let's get rolling. I hope everyone has had a great day. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day here in Dallas. My watch is saying it is the high temperature of the day, and it is 67 degrees at this moment. The low this morning was 39 degrees. I'm going to tell you, though, it was cold last night in the Koch household. So we try to wait as long as we can to turn the heater on. Hey, Mama. Good to see you. We try to take as long to turn the heater on for multiple reasons. One is this is the time of year where you will turn on the heater and then 2 days later have to turn on the air conditioner. So just to keep from heating the house and then having to cool it down and then heat it up and then cool it down, we try to just stick with one for a while, because I think tomorrow it's in the 80s already, and I know this weekend it's going to be in the 80s, the mid to high 80s, I believe. So no reason to turn the heat on, right? Just throw an extra blanket on the bed and you're set. I thought that's all it was going to be. So last night, and then the other reason we don't turn the heater on is it stinks so bad the first time you turn the heater on. And I certainly don't want to do it right before going to bed, because as my friend Cynthia told me earlier today, she was at a lunch meeting with me. Last night, they turned on the heater, and about 2 hours later, I guess, a little bit later, after they went to bed, their fire alarms, their whole house went, wah, wah, wah. All the alarms went off in their house because the heater was, all the dust and stuff that was burning off was giving off the smell that it had burnt. Nothing was on fire. Everything was fine, but it went off. And ours does the same thing. I think most people's here does that. The first time you turn it on after the summer, it's stinky. It just smells like burnt dust and hair and all of that kind of stuff. And so you definitely don't want to do that before bed, because that's the worst feeling in the world, is when you're laying in bed and then the security alarm goes off or the fire alarm goes off or something like that. You wake up and you're startled. I always feel like I'm going to vomit. Like literally, if someone breaks into my house, they're going to come at me and I'm going to throw up on them is what's going to happen. And then I'm like nauseous for hours later. We had one time we had a painting or a framed photo or something, huge thing in our family room, which is right on the other side of this wall. And in the middle of the night, all of our security alarms gone off. It said it was a broken glass detector. Todd gets up to turn the alarm off. I'm like, don't turn it off. Leave it running. I don't want them thinking that the alarm is over, like blah, 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 and it sounded like a window had broken. So the alarm is going off. We have all of our sirens pointing at our neighbor's house. Actually, they're not in the house. They're outside pointing at the neighbor's houses so that everyone comes if there's a problem. And go into the family room, and the twine, the line, whatever you want to call it, the thing that holds up the big painting on the back of it had snapped, and the whole painting fell down, hit the floor, shattered, glass everywhere, and it set off the glass break detectors. It was, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. My adrenaline was going, and I'm not sure the whole neighborhood did either, because it was quite a scene. They're very loud. Monica, my sister, says that there says fire, 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 fire. Yeah, that's annoying. Also, they only chirp at night too. So anyway, so back to the story. So I go to bed last night at like 10 o'clock, and it's cold, so I put another blanket on the bed. Monica is saying I should have put that sequin jacket on the bed. Yes, that was so hot. And I so lay in bed, and my feet are cold, and it's one of those things where the bed had just been freshly made and all that kind of stuff. So the bed was cold also, just generally, which normally I love getting into a cold bed. But last night I couldn't find it, so I just kind of stayed still for a little bit to see if I could warm up the spot I was in, and then turn over a little bit to warm up that spot a little bit more. Move the pillows around. Of course, I had cooling pillows. They have like a cooling gel in them, so they weren't getting warmer. I'm like, okay, come on. Finally, I fell asleep, but then like at like 2 a.m, woke up, had to pee, and it was one of those. Is it worth getting out of bed for to get up and get cold and go to the bathroom? Or can I just hold it in and suffer? Because, if you hold it in and suffer, you end up not sleeping at all for the rest of the night. You wake up like every 15 minutes with the urge to do that. And and here's the thing. I sleep in a t-shirt, sleeping pants. I cannot sleep if I'm not wearing pants. It is impossible for me to sleep in shorts. I can't sleep in my underwear, and it has to be in sleeping pants. But I also cannot wear socks. I cannot sleep in socks for some reason. So my feet were cold. Everything was cold. I have just lots of quirks about me, especially with sleeping. But finally fell asleep. Well, the good news about getting it, so I got up to pee. The good news about getting up to pee and getting cold is when you get back in bed, the bed feels extra warm. So that was the silver lining of it all, because my heat shadow was still under the blankets, and so I just got in and went back to sleep. Monica's asking, do you touch your feet to Todd? I don't touch anything on Todd. Our bed, if we could have a Texas king, I would. Like we have a big old king, and just I got my side, he's got his. Our mattress, we probably need a new mattress, because between just age and our weight gain over the years, I'm not sure I could even roll over to his side of the bed. I think there's probably like a hump in the middle. I just get automatically rolled back to my indention in the bed. But no, the bed is for sleeping. It's not for touching. It's not for cuddling. None of that. And tonight I think it's going to be less cold, and then it's going to heat up as time goes on. So I think we're okay. I don't think I need to turn it on. And Monica's also saying she sleeps in leggings no matter what. Yep, that's basically me. I wear just the pajamas pants. So what else? I had a catered lunch today. That was probably one of the best catered lunches I have had in my life. I was at Frost Bank. I'm on their Dallas advisory board, and we meet like 5 times a year, 4 to 5 times a year. Actually, I think is what it is. And we were meeting. We talk about the bank, what's going on in Dallas, all that kind of stuff. And they cater the meal in always. And usually it's just some rando catering company. Well, this time they had, and we learned this after we were all gaga over this catering. They have this new small business mentorship program that they have launched recently. And one of the participants in that program is this catering company whose name, oh shit, I should have remembered it so I could tell y'all if y'all are watching. I took a picture of the card. It is called Les Rouge Food Experience. Les Rouge Food. Something like Les Rouge. EnterLesRouge.com is their website. Anyway, it was so good, and what's her name? Ashley Williams, Williams is the chef. I really, really should have written all of this down. But anyway, so it was a salmon. You could have chicken or salmon. I had salmon, and it was my one meal of the day for today. And it was a chili rubbed salmon. Oh my God, it was so good. Like literally, and I don't think that's the diet talking. I don't think that's me having aspartame poisoning and not knowing what shit tastes like, because everyone else was raving about it too. And I know that they're not on the same diet as I am. So good. So good. So enter Les Rouge, enter La Rouge or Les Rouge, enter Les Rouge, EnterLerouge.com is her website. So good. So good. So I put that on my list of people to call for catering. Are you sure it's not the Optiva talk? That's what I'm saying. If I were the only one who lost my mind over it, I would say yes. It would be like I've been eating sand forever, and then someone gives me an ice cream, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. But it was not like that. Everyone in the room was like, this salmon was insane. And the people who had the chicken were like, I wish I had the salmon. So back to the bed thing. Monica's saying, I don't cuddle. I do put my feet on Mike for instant warmth. No, do not. But it was so good. But now I get to have, I had my little pudding snack a minute ago, protein enhanced pudding with aspartame. Yum. And then for dinner, I will have a little packet of food too. I ordered, so Todd has started doing it and he's on day 2 of it. Day 2 and day 3 are the hardest. He emailed or texted me earlier today and he's like, I feel like shit. And I was like, well, just wait for tomorrow. But he's eating my food and he's going on the diet now too. But instead of signing up as a new customer, we're just double ordering my food because they send you this life book, which I had here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. So $50 of the startup kit is this life book and this Dr. A's Habits of Health. Notice the spines have not been cracked once. I am okay with that. But the last night I had the mashed potatoes made in a little mini waffle maker. They're very good. The garlic mashed potatoes are fantastic. Made that way. I've not had them any other way. But he's doing it. So I placed an order last night. I'm gonna tell you, this isn't a cheap diet. The order last night was $729. It arrives tomorrow, full of bars. I amped up the bars and I lowered like the faux food, like the fake chili. The chili was terrible. I think everyone can agree on that chili is terrible. But the other things, like I like the mashed potatoes. I like the rustic pasta. I like the like chicken and noodle soup and stuff. Todd is not a fan. He says it tastes like chicken flavored paper. Again, maybe my taste buds are just like checked out already. I like some of the dessert things, but I really, really just the bars and the smoothies and the little snacks, the little cheddar, jalapeno cheddar poppers. Love those so much. Monica asks, how was the mac and cheese? I have not had the mac and cheese and I've not ordered any because I was warned by numerous people that mac and cheese is not good because it's not the blue box. You know, the blue box is the only good mac and cheese on the planet. And I was told if you do order it to put it in the little waffle maker and make a little mac and cheese waffle and it'll be better. I think everything is better in that waffle maker. I did actually last night. I take that back, Monica. I ordered the spinach pesto mac and cheese. It's from their like gourmet collection. I ordered 1 box of that to see how that tastes. But other than that, I just got like a shit ton of bars and smoothies and the little faux carby snacks and stuff. So can you order just the snacks? I do believe so, actually. I think you can. I just edited my standing order because I'm on like a monthly thing at the moment. But yeah, I think you can. But yeah, so fantastic lunch today. One thing that did come up at the lunch though that struck me as funny, we were talking about the housing market and all that kind of stuff and how many investors are buying into the housing market and how there are so many like this one of the people on the board with me is a very prominent real estate broker here in town. And she was talking about how last year she has this one investor group that bought 1,000 homes in Dallas, Fort Worth area to be short-term rentals. And this year they're buying 5,000 homes, which is causing an impact on the supply and demand and all that kind of stuff. Some people in the room though were like, short-term rentals, who stays in a short-term rental? We're talking about Airbnbs, VRBOs, that sort of thing, right? It's like, what? There's that many in Dallas? And I'm like, we always stay in one. Like literally, if I have the choice to stay in an Airbnb or VRBO or stay at a hotel, I will always choose the house. Now, it has to be a house that is all it does. I'm not taking over somebody's house. A lot of people in New York do this, and it's just their house and they move out of it for a week or something. I don't want that. It has to be, I want it to be a business setup. But I like them because they're more or less the same price as hotels. You got multiple bathrooms, you got multiple bedrooms, you've got living room space. There's nothing I dislike more about staying in a hotel when there's not a good chair or anything in the room, so you just have to sit on your bed. Drives me insane. I just really, really dislike it. And so, and then with kids, you want more space and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I stay in them all the time. And I would beg to argue that probably the street where my office is, it's probably half made up of them. Like, I know that. So, and you can cook. Yes, Monica, we cook a lot on trips. And I mean, we eat out too, but I don't want to eat out every fucking meal. I just get sick of it after a while. and especially breakfast. Like I want to be able to have breakfast like in the room, unless we're going somewhere. But if you go out to breakfast, that instantly delays your departure to do whatever you're doing by like an hour or two. So I'm like, no, we'll do it. Saves a ton of money. We'll usually do like one or two evenings where we cook also. So I like them better than resorts. I'm gonna say it, like at the beach and stuff. Even I like staying in a house. But even like San Antonio, or trying to think of where else we've been where we've stayed in them, like just cities, regular cities. So um, Sarah Smith is saying the one in Plano was in fact a brothel, red light district. Interesting. Um, and the two-story house across the street across the street from you, Mom, is strictly an Airbnb. So, and you know what? I think they get a bad rap. I think that the like 10% of people who abuse the situation, park their cars all over the place, um, have parties and all that kind of stuff, which you're not supposed to do. You're not even allowed to do by like the bylaws of Airbnb-dom or whatever. But those people are ruining it for everybody else, because you get families like mine who pull up. We're fine. You don't even notice this. You might just be like, I don't like that behavior happening there. But other than that, like it's fine. We're chill. Everyone's good. And so, yeah. And so my mom has one across the street from her. I think it's fine. I mean, we talked about, actually, my office is in a house, and I'm going to be probably putting it on the market and selling it. It's in the Bishop Arts District, great location. Putting it, and I was like, what if we did a short-term rental, Todd? And Todd's like, but just one more thing to manage. And the main reason that I'm wanting to get out of it is I'm tired of dealing with the issues of it and all that kind of stuff. So, and Aaron, the real estate pro, I've opted to buy 4 investment properties instead of one large family home. I think that's a smart idea. Oh yeah, in DC, we stayed in one also. I loved that one. We were in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood. We stayed in a townhouse there, or like a brownstone or whatever. The kids were feeding the rats, because big cities have rats. Did you know that like the highest concentration of rats in the state of Texas is like Highland Park, Texas? Like the ritzy part, because rats are attracted to all the extra food and the waste. So our kids were on the balcony throwing food to the rats, and the rats were running around eating it in the alley behind the place in DC. You always remember that. I always forget about that, Monica. I really like that one a lot. So anyway, but we've thought about the short-term rental thing, but I'm trying to simplify. But if any of y'all want to buy a house on Bishop Avenue in Dallas, Texas, in the Bishop Arts District, let me know. I can cut you a deal, friends and family deal. What else? Have y'all noticed that shit that looks like it is made for old people is all the rage right now? And it is beyond the coastal grandma thing. It is beyond the wearing your sweaters on your shoulders, wearing all beige, all of that kind of stuff. I can get on board that. Like, I like that layered look. I like that very Ralph Lauren Hamptons, like all that kind of stuff. But there's some shit like the clunky shoes, like the orthopedic looking shoes. I just cannot get on board with that. Even like the men's tennis shoes, everyone is like gaga over these On tennis shoes. I owned a pair. I bought Todd a pair even. I thought I liked mine, so I bought him a pair. His feet instantly were killing him. About 4 months into owning mine, I was like, I can't wear these anymore. I hated them. Like, I won't wear them anymore. And they also just look like old people shoes. But the new old people thing that is, a lot of people are carrying these big mugs by Stanley, like the brand Stanley, which I don't know, what else do they make? Like coolers and such, maybe. But it's this mug, and it looks kind of like a Yeti mug, but it's got the largest handle known to man on it. It's so plasticky looking. It's humongous, and it's got like a vacuum thing and all that stuff. But it's like all the rage with the influencers and stuff right now. And not even like I don't think they're getting paid to do it. I think it's like people literally buying it. I don't think Stanley has this campaign where they're sending them for free to people. I could be wrong, but I've seen other influencers who would have gotten them saying, what the hell is this about? Like, they bought one and they're like, it's huge. It's awkward. And it's not cute at all. But old people shit. What else is next? We're gonna be having walkers with tennis balls on the feet of the walker. What else? I do have to say I do like a seat belt with a fur thing on it. I don't have one in my car, but in the RV, our seat belt has a. I had the choice between the lamb's wool and like the mink, quote unquote mink, and I got the mink one because it was prettier. But I do like that because it's comfy on me and it's a little sassy and fun. Um, oh, the biggest piece of scientific news to come out of the scientific world today, at least. Someone they think that they have discovered why some people are mosquito magnets. So raise your hand, put in the comments, whatever, if you were a mosquito magnet. Let me know. Like if you attract more mosquitoes than other people around you, like you can be in a group of people and everyone else gets or doesn't get bitten, but you get eaten alive, right? Some university, I think Rockefeller University, maybe in New York, it's a university in New York, has done a study and they've come out with it and it's making the rounds right now about why. And it is a thing called carboxylic acids that create a skin odor. So you have a skin odor if you are a mosquito magnet that makes you up to 100 times more attractive to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes will seek you out 100 times as much as the other people around you. I am not one of these people. I could be like I sometimes get a little mosquito flying around me, but they rarely bite me. I used to blame it on blood alcohol level, but I don't think that's it. They rarely bite me. I have almost no reaction to it. Like mosquitoes just aren't really a nuisance to me, but to a lot of people they are. Like Todd gets bitten and Claire, who actually has an allergy, gets bitten a lot too. Well, the skin odor makes you 100% more attractive and from your carboxylic acids. Do you know what else has carboxylic acids that create an odor that is attractive to mosquitoes? Cheese and dirty feet. So if you are really, really attractive to mosquitoes, it means they think you smell like cheese and dirty feet. Yes, isn't that funny? Aaron is saying my Chardonnay repels him. That's what I used to say too. So Monica, are you a mosquito magnet? Do you smell like, what kind of cheese do you smell like? Do you smell like teenage boy feet or teenage girl feet? There's a difference. They're both terrible. Yeah, so I thought that was hilarious. And it's funny, I was watching a thing on CNN earlier, a little video, and the lady was like, I'm a mosquito magnet, and he's like, okay. And then after, you can see her face like melting that she just admitted on the air that she smelled like cheese and feet. She's like, if my husband doesn't watch today's broadcast, and she was like, he doesn't watch my broadcast, similar to mine, same girl, same. If he's like, I'm gonna say it's because I'm so sweet. That's what I'm gonna say. So Monica said, and I hope it's a fancy cheese. Yes. I've always just thought it was because other people around me. I've also heard that they're attracted to carbon dioxide, and I have because of my lung damage from having pneumonia 3 times. I am actually a very shallow breather, and so I probably don't expel a ton of carbon dioxide because I only at maximum capacity. I'm only able to operate at 80% of lung capacity. That's why we were so freaked out by COVID, by the way, is that like my lungs were already a B-, C+ at best, like on a good day. So anyway, so stinky cheese and feet. You smell like stinky cheese. You smell like stinky feet. What else? Something else that stinks. Let's use that as a seg. People are losing their conservatives right now. Like not all conservatives, but just like the crazy ones. Suddenly they are pissed off about drag shows. Have you seen this lately? Like Texas is trying to pass, they want to pass a law starting in January or submit one to ban drag shows. Idaho now wants to do it, all this stuff. And especially they're like, it's grooming children. So the backstory is every restaurant in the world now. I didn't even realize Dallas, for example, had as many drag queens as it does. Because I swear every restaurant in Dallas right now has a drag brunch on Sundays. Saturdays or Sundays, a drag brunch. It's where you go, you have brunch, and these drag performers come around and dance and do little shows around you, and you give them tips and all that kind of stuff. Really fun, very upbeat, very like all of that kind of stuff. 9 times out of 10 when you go, the audience is mostly consists of straight women having like girls' day out, girls' brunch. It's a lot of moms, a lot of single girls, a lot of divorcees, that sort of thing, right? A lot of middle-aged women who I don't know, they're going for a good time. A lot of woo girls, woo, that kind of thing. But occasionally you see a child at one of these things. And there was a video that came out of this child watching, and they're brought by their parents, by the way. Kids can't show up. Kids can't drive. They're brought by their parents to this drag show, this drag brunch thing. And sometimes they are a little on the raunchy side. I'm not going to lie. Because the songs they're lip syncing to are raunchy. Like any Nicki Minaj song, any Megan Thee Stallion song, even Beyonce lately. Like it's all they're raunchy. Lizzo, raunchy, right? I'm there for it, but it's raunchy. But these super conservatives, like totally like fanatical conservatives, are like, it's terrible for the children and blah, blah, blah. We need to ban the shows. And I'm like this one show in particular, there was one in Frisco, Texas this weekend that everyone's up in arms about. And they even on their ticket sales page said, this is an adult show. Parental guidance is required. Like, if your kid, if you don't want to let them see rated R movies, don't let them see this, that kind of thing. And that's where they had this video. My question is, I have a couple of questions about it. One, why are people not mad at the parents? Why are they mad at the drag queens? And why are they mad at the restaurants? I'll kill you on something. It's the anti-LGBTQ folks. That's why. But anyway, that aside, it's like, so we're going to ban private restaurants doing private things, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, real conservative there. Yeah, you wanted parental choice when it came to COVID, shots, but you want to take away the parental choice when it comes to drag queens. Okay, got it. So the other thing about it, though, this is a question I have, and I don't know the answer to it. Are restaurants, like regular old restaurants, like any restaurant in your neighborhood, your town, or whatever, who chooses to do one of these things, are they allowed to put age restrictions on? Are public accommodations like restaurants allowed to put age restrictions on who can come to eat at their restaurant? Like, I don't know what the answer to that is. My guess is that they cannot. Like, that's discriminatory towards familial status or whatever. Private clubs can. Like, if you join a private club, like the Hudson House, which is a fancy schmancy private club here in Dallas at Highland Park Village, there's no children allowed. But you sign a contract saying that there's no kids allowed and yada, 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 right? Like that kind of thing. Can restaurants, can Houston's just say no children? Can Patrizio's, which I don't even think that exists anymore, can whatever, the IHOP down the street, can they say no kids allowed? Are they allowed to do that? I don't think they can. Like, I don't think that that's allowed either. So it puts the restaurants in this weird situation. And again, why are we not mad at the parents? Be mad at the parents. So anyway, rant over. Oh, I did have one thing though. A lot of them say it's grooming. It's sexualization of children, and it's grooming them to be molested and all that kind of stuff, right? Like the drag queens are doing this, and the gays are doing this, and all that kind of stuff. I'm so sick of that. That's the dog whistle. That's the thing about so many anti-LGBTQ things right now circulating in law-making circles, especially in conservative states. But here's my thing on that grooming thing. It doesn't even make sense, because if you look at the statistics, almost all sexual abuse happening to children is done by someone in the kid's family, a family friend, place of worship, school, that sort. It is almost, the call is coming from inside your house, basically. It is not some random drag queen like, ooh, I'm gonna dance with some fake titties on so I can molest your kid. That's not happening. It's the creepy uncle, it's the dad, it's the teacher, the pastor, all of that kind of stuff. So Eric is saying we went to Louis Pizza the other night and they had a 21 plus sign on the door. I think if you have a bar, you could keep out minors. Maybe it has to do with time of day also, and like if like your bar receipts, because it's really only a bar if the receipts for food are lower than a certain threshold. So I don't know. And who knows? They may have just said that. And they may have just put up a sign and a sign isn't necessarily the law. They could have been in violation of the law that day. And just said, fuck it. We just don't want to mess with it. So I don't know. And the last thing on my list, real quick, God, how do I hit my time so fast? Texas public schools. Eric, have they started doing this at your schools? Supposedly Texas public schools, starting this week, has started giving out free child identification kits where it's for DNA identification and fingerprint identification for easy identification of your children in case of emergencies and such like that. A lot of people are losing their minds over this, saying that it is in response to the gun violence and Uvalde and all the mass murders in schools and such like that. Like, why is that? Why are the drag queens what we're worried about instead of that sort of thing? But a lot of people are like, oh, great. Yeah, this is the response. Yeah, let's make sure that we can identify the kids that are maimed and stuff by their fingerprints. So Eric is pissed about it. Yeah. Oh, so on this Friday or last Friday. So they're going out. They cost $10 each. The state is paying for it. Every public school kid in Texas, I believe, gets one or something like that. Monica, I don't know if you know anything about it. You work at a public school. But it's just weird that it's weird that that's how we're protecting our kids so that we can identify them once they're murdered or once they're kidnapped or once they're gone or whatever. Like that's what this Friday is they're giving them out. So that is so just bizarre to me. Like, what world do we live in right now? Anyway, the fingerprint thing has been going on for years. Yeah. What about the DNA testing, though? Because supposedly that's part of this kit, too. Oh, interesting. One way for them to identify a child's sex at birth as well. Oh, that's interesting. Plot twist. I also don't know why anyone is freaked out about that at all. I just don't get it. So anyway, well, that's all I have. Particularly ranty episode today. Did you notice I got a haircut? I've been out. It was breezy earlier and it got kind of blown around. But yeah. So alrighty. Well, I think I saw everyone's comments today. I'm having a delicious bar or bag of food or something for dinner tonight. I need to go. I'm actually, speaking of mosquitoes, I'm going to be hosing down our front and backyard with all of the poison I can muster that I can hook up to the fire hose or the water hose so that we don't have mosquitoes this weekend when we have people here. So that's what I'm doing this evening. I love the smell of it, by the way. I know that's weird. I love the smell of Cutter in the evening. To paraphrase, what movie was that? Some Vietnam movie. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I must say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you for joining the fun. What is today? So I will not be here on Friday, almost certainly. I'm pretty sure I will be here tomorrow. So I will see you when I see you at 4:30 tomorrow for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say, talk to you later. Bye. Hopefully it works this time. Bye.